So I call this Super-Americana, basically because the mechanics are a little bit different than what everybody was taught, like, one of the first days. And remember, it was like when you're a white belt and you get that Americana, and you're like, yes. And then you try to do it against somebody bigger and stronger, and you're like, no. All right? What I want to do is I want to start by assuming that they're going to get pushing around, all that kind of thing. And frame, you don't want me accessing it. What I want is I want a grip on the shoulder, and I want the tiniest little bit of control of the inside of his elbow. It does not need to be much. Does this feel dangerous to you?
Not yet.
That's what I want, right? I don't want him thinking, oh no, something bad's about to happen. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my hand, slip it in. How's this feeling so far?
Starting to work.
Yeah, starting to work. Good, right? And I'm going to
Right. Oh, shit.
go here. That's fine.
Okay, Cap.
Okay. Let me describe what I did. So I'm sneaking my hand in, wrapping over their arm, keeping my arm fairly parallel. And the way that I'm thinking about this is my shoulder, elbow, wrist, floor. This lets me use my entire body to get this arm to the outside. Over here, I'm turning over, dropping. Now here's where things start getting a little bit more interesting. I'm actually doing a double hammer fist. And the way that I want to think about this is I want to take his elbow to his sternum and his wrist to his lat. His wrist will never, ever, ever get to his lat, but that's the way I want you to think about it, okay? So bring the elbow in to the sternum,
Okay.
right? This is really, really strong. Switching to a hammer fist lets you generate more power, right? When you're dealing with somebody big and strong, you need all the power you can get, right? Any questions so far? Because we have a lot of other things to cover. This is the start, but I want you to get used to this idea that getting to a double hammer fist, little mini hammer over top, and then bringing your elbow in, that's fine. We'll deal with that. And then, good? Cool. Try it. All right, who had trouble with that? A little bit? All right, so bringing the elbow to the sternum is a little bit more difficult. However, I mean, we end up doing something that's like a V-lock, right? And that's a very, very powerful submission. All right, I need somebody else's shoulder to work with. Granted, this was too much. Anybody? Especially if you have hypermobile shoulders, those are the best. All right, so put your head this way. So again, mechanically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring his elbow. I care more about bringing the elbow to the center than I do about bringing the hand towards the lat. Right? If I go here, now we're just in regular Americana territory, and it's not as strong. So when I get into this configuration here, I'm thinking about how do I belly down and bring his elbow in as much as I can. Oh, perfect, right? So his elbow's in at his sternum. And then we take, so I'm going to stress the joint as much as possible by focusing on bringing the elbow to the sternum, right? This is the stressing mechanics. This is the braking mechanics. So I want to stress as much as possible before I even think about the brake. If I go here, see how much his hand moves? If I go here, you can barely see it, right? The other thing that this lets us do, most people are going to bridge. Cool. When I'm bringing this in, he bridges. His feet are committed to this now. Right? Fine. I just go to a modified knee and belly, and I can continue breaking his arm. Okay? And just to recap, the starting position is here, sliding our hand in, getting elbow to wrist as best we can, making straight line, shoulder, elbow, wrist, or using my weight, drop it down. Like hammer fist, then bring it in, get the tap. Okay? Yes.
If I can't, like, I find my arms are a little short. If I can't get a hammer fist, like with the second one, can I use some sort of like flat thing here, or is that so good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because where most of this, so like this, I don't find is strong for pulling,
Okay.
right? You don't generally pull things like this, right? Pulling here or pulling here, that's going to be more powerful. So you're decreasing the amount of power that you have to bring to the table. So the hammer fist actually puts our arm in a stronger position to do that pull.
So maybe I just need to try to shoot.
Well, instead of like, if you're having like this, where you're kind of like bumping into things, it's okay to transfer up on the arm a little bit more.
Okay.
Right? As long as I don't lose the forearm, like if I go here, now I can pull this in, it still works. It's not quite as efficient because I'm pulling farther away from the elbow. If I pull at the elbow, it's going to be most efficient. So ideally, hammer fist, pull at the elbow, we get the tap that way, right? All right. So he knows as soon as I start dropping into place, he knows the Americana is coming. Okay? And if I'm doing an Americana to somebody, I really mean to do the Americana. I am going to do all of this to the best of my ability. However, if we're bigger than me, stronger than me, better timing than me, whatever it is, they will be able to do something intelligent to try to get out of that Americana. And I need to have an answer for each one of those things that they could possibly do. I mean, the first one is, he tried to bridge. I shut that down with a knee on belly and good mechanics on the brake. So what's your go-to defense against somebody doing the Americana?
Yeah, don't get it much.
Well, what are you going to do with your arm? How can you make your arm? Oh, okay. So he decided to go up. Good option. Really good option. Because now, even if I pull his elbow into the center line, it's doing nothing. Okay? So as soon as I feel him punching up, let's turn this one just a little bit. As soon as I feel him punching up, I keep the arm wrapped, drop my head to the floor. I'm going to be bringing my knee in next to his neck, step up over top. Right? Notice I've got a wrap. I'm not trying to grab his elbow, I'm trying to wrap his elbow. I'm going to pull in. Okay. A lot of space here. I want to make lots of space to pull that in. And it's a little bit weird because I'm trying to bring my hand into my armpit and then using, this is control, this is brake. Okay. So we're in the Americana position, he punches up, I drop down, make sure that his arm stays to the outside. Knee to the neck, other knee, pinching everything together. My hand's going to go in my armpit, my neck slides up to his wrist. Control, braking. Any questions? Right? Main difference that we're dealing with here from what would be considered a normal Superman armbar is we're not trying to grab the elbow to control it. We're trying to wrap the elbow to control it. Then all of our power comes from this really strong motion, right? Rowing in this position is quite strong. So rather than trying to do this, or I'm just playing this bicep game, I'm going to use my back to pull things through. Okay? Punches up, head to the floor, up. Okay? All right, let's do it. So a few people were having trouble, which is understandable. This is, mechanics are a little bit different. The video will help out a lot later on. But every time I'm doing any of these kind of razor armbar styles, I'm always using this, right? I've got my neck at the wrist. My head will help control the hand. My elbow is controlling his elbow. Hands in my armpit, and then pulling this in. Okay? Every single one is going to be similar mechanics. Okay? So when I get up here, if I try to submit him like this, this is poking out really far. This feels like it's a nice strong position to finish from, but I'm not out at the end. It is totally okay as long as your elbow stays in the right place on theirs. You can end up here. This is fine. All kinds of space here, right? I'm not putting my weight into this elbow because then I can't pull it across. My head is taking all of my weight, and I can easily reach underneath me and pull that through. Okay? Okay, so that's when he decides that he's going to punch up. If he really wants to mess me up and force me to change configurations, all that kind of stuff, a lot of times what people will do is they'll say, okay, I'm going to go from here to here. Now he has to rearrange for the Kimura, right? Intelligent thing to do. So he punches down. I don't care. That's great. What I'm not going to do is spend the time say, okay, oh, now I'm going to go after the Kimura. No. He went here. I'm going to frame off of his neck, bring my knee up over top to control his shoulder, and we've got another razor style armbar, right? He can have his hand inside his pants, inside your leg. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. None of that matters because I'm creating the space that I need here, and I'm pinning his wrist. His shoulder's immobilized, his wrist is immobilized. I'm controlling his elbow, hands in my armpit, and this will work against very big and strong people, right? But you got to be able to get into position. So we start the Americana, he switched down. I'm instantly going to stay tight on this, right? Go ahead and post on the neck. Why am I posting on the neck? Because if I just try to bring my leg around, he's going to mess with my leg. If I post on his neck, he's going to grab my hand, and I'm going to go over top. Right? Again, see all this space that I'm creating here? I'm not trying to get close to his arm. I'm creating lots of space to make it easy to pull my arms through. From here, pulling through. Okay? Any questions on anything that we've covered so far?
It looks like you're balancing your head on his thigh. Is that so?
It may be there, may not be there. I actually don't care where my head ends up. I care that I control his wrist. Because sometimes what will happen is we'll be here and he'll punch his arm straight down, put his hand by his hip. Right? Yeah, that's fine. So if I have to, go ahead and get in place here and just put my head down on the mat. That's fine. Right? As long as I make sure that I have enough space to pull the whole arm-to-arm assembly through, then I'm fine. I don't care where that is. They'll very often put it up on their leg. They'll put it down here. As long as I control his wrist, none of it matters. All right, so now the person on the bottom is doing another intelligent thing, and I'm going to make him pay for it, right? That's how we should have all of our jiu-jitsu. We should assume that they are intelligent. If they aren't intelligent, the very first thing that I did will work. If they are intelligent, they're going to do different things to try to mess me up. And in this case, the person is trying to wrap around and get their arm all the way down. Okay? All right, let's do that.
I was coming with one leg hold, I think.
All right, so one very common thing that I'm seeing I'm reading the like, where's my guy? Boy, everybody keeps on giving up. So one thing that I see for each of these variations is there's a lot of people that, which is this, there's a lot of people that want to put their hand up here, okay? For this style of armbar, where we're trying to grab onto our elbow, this doesn't work so well. If I put my hand in my armpit, I get much greater range, right? So it's the difference between here and here, right? It's hard to get that over very far. We're like working against ourselves by putting our hand up here. So for these submissions where this is the control and this is the power in the submission, it's always going in the armpit. Okay? Almost always. There's one position don't worry about. All right. So bringing the arm down there does cause me to make a big change. However, there's a lot, like a really, really strong guy. But you know what? I need somebody a lot stronger. Yeah, give me big, strong guy. Big. All right. So I don't really want to deal with him being able to get that all the way down there. I mean, yes, this works, but he changed the situation more than I'd like, right? Wherever I'm at, I want the smallest deltas possible, right? Him going from here to here is a pretty big change. I want that to be a smaller change. So another, he may elect to just go straight out, right? That's super common. Or he will punch out in order to go down. What I want is when he's in this orientation, I want to make sure that it never goes past his arm going straight out. Okay? So I'm here, I've got that double hammer fist. As soon as I feel him starting to punch out, okay. So I'm going to chase his elbow, right? I was here, I'm going to chase his elbow, and I'm going to try to control his hand, right? This is not a razor arm bar, this is a far side arm bar, and this is where you can actually put your hand up on your shoulder, right? And what I want to do here is I want to guide his hand until his thumb is straight up, and you'll feel, I've got a nice tight V here, you'll feel when the bone structure locks in. Right, feel that on the bottom? Yep. So it's like everything feels mushy, mushy, mushy. Oh, there it is, right? If he tries to move his hand down at all, I'm controlling, yeah, I mean, you can try to go up there. That's not really helping out all that much. But my goal is to control his elbow straight up, or his thumb straight up. Now, just do a curl.
You know what?
Do a curl, like strong curl. No, just bring the hand.
Oh, curl.
Go back. I'm here. Everything's in. Do a curl. Oh, yeah. Okay. Go back. If I just try to push down on this, do a curl again, he can overpower me. Remember Chris's class? He was talking about extending things to make them weak. I'm going to do that by pushing his hand out. Now do a curl. All right, so I'm going to stress everything and make it weak by trying to push out as far as I can. This works on gorillas, trust me. If you can get that outward pressure, right, it's kind of like you're taking your hand over a waterfall. You go out as far as you can, put all of your effort into stressing everything that way, and then the finish, you're here, you guide everything into place. The finish ought to look like this. Very, very small motion. If I try to finish without pushing out, well, no, don't go. If I try to finish without pushing out, that's how far his arm goes down. If I push it out as far as I possibly can, and then push down. Which would you rather have? A submission that takes that far to get it, or a submission that takes that far to get it? Okay. The right answer is that much. You do that by pushing out as much as you can. And even though he was able to do a strong curl against me, if I was just trying to push down, he could not do that curl against me when I pushed his hand away. I made his arm weak, and I stressed the joint more. Okay? The only tricky thing about this is we start here, and I need to get, we're going from our double hammer fist, do this slowly. So as he starts to punch out, I'm chasing the elbow. I want my elbow directly underneath my chin, and I'm going to guide down and grab one to the base of his thumb. I'm going to use that to turn it over and feel it lock into place. Out, and then down. And it looks like I'm struggling because I'm spending all my time pushing out. It's not super efficient, but I can put my body into it. I'd rather have a really strong submission than look like I'm doing it effortlessly. Any questions? Okay, let's do it. Oriented his hand.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so now if he doesn't throw,
I just yes. Okay. Reverse it. Okay. Reverse this. Back up.
all right. So when all this goes out, right? If my arm is on the ground, or it's like just kind of like up here a little bit like this, I'll go out here, and his hand hits the mat. Okay? This is why it's very, very, very important that you try to squeeze as much as you can here. Okay? Now, stay relaxed. When I'm talking about engaging on the bone structure, what's happening is as this goes out, see how it's up in the air? So we've got this V. And then if he wants to take it down the other way, it has to come out and stay super relaxed. There's tension on his elbow at all times here. But I'm always looking for where we drop into that valley. Some people, like him, it's going to be really super easy to find. You'll feel their whole arm drop in. You'll feel all the bone structure go into place. Other people, it's not so easy. So, when we're here and we're pushing this out, if you start to go out and then down and it feels a little bit squishy and nothing's happening, you're not in the right spot. Most of the time, you need to take it down a little bit more. There it is. Right? So even with somebody whose arms hyperextend a bit, as long as you are super, super tight on this, you'll still be able to get it. And you'll feel their arm drop into that valley. Okay? All right, so we've got, a few minutes left. Here's what I want you to do. The person on top, you're trying to get the Americana. The person on the bottom, you're either saying, oh, I'm dumb, you're going to get the Americana, right? So we're here. Oh, you decided you wanted to do that. You wanted to go straight to it. Okay, fine. That means I go to this submission. Maybe this time he decides he's going to be really nice and help me practice the Americana. Oh. All right. Maybe this time he decides I start on the Americana, he's going to punch straight up. And this next time he does the Americana, lets me get the Americana again. Right, mix it up. You don't have to go fast, but you do have to respond to what the person is doing. Right? If they insist on punching straight out, take that armbar. If they punch up, Superman armbar. Right? If they manage to get all the way down, we take that razor armbar. Okay, makes sense? So the person on the bottom, you are helping the person on top be sensitive to what's going on, right? Either let them have the Americana, make sure the mechanics are good, or do a defensive motion, and they have to respond to it. Make sense? All right, that's it. All right, so part of this was to get you used to the idea of good Americana mechanics, and the other part was to deal with intelligent defense. Right? And I know there was a lot of details, but when you're dealing with bigger, stronger people, these details really, really matter. So definitely check out the video, go through it, and most of all, be sensitive to what's going on. Right? If you get the Americana, great. If they punch up, you should be reacting instantly. If they punch out, you should have the exact solution. If they punch down, again, you should have the correct solution for whatever happens. Okay? Any last minute questions? All right, cool. Get a drink, get ready for that class, and grab me at any open mat if you have any trouble at all. Okay? Which you will, and that's okay. That's why I'm here. It's to answer questions. Okay? All right, thank you very much.